Hello there. There is a clamour for me to talk about well-being. I really do think it's important. Unlike many leaders, I think, in many organizations, unfortunately, I don't think that well-being is a compromise to high performance. I think it's a route to high performance. I always remember somebody reading a quote. I think it's a Mandarin origin quote, and it's, "You can't pour from an empty cup." And it's always struck me as being so important. We want our people to deliver, we want productivity, even though it's catastrophically poor in the United Kingdom at least. And yet we don't seem to want to allow people to recuperate. With athletics, with sport, we intrinsically understand that you can't keep working at this incredible high pace. You can't stay ready to race, to run, to score, to shoot every single moment. You have to recuperate, and some of that recuperation is active. It's not just sleeping or lying around or slobbing around. Some of it's finding another distraction, something else that invigorates another part of your psyche other than your body. And that seems so obvious in sport. When it comes to workplaces, people seem to think that that workers are infinite goblets that should essentially be able to pour and pour and pour and pour with no consequences. The conversation I have with managers is quite contentious often about well-being, because I have a very simple thing that I ask of leaders, and I would ask of you when it comes to well-being. Something that I think sets the tone in any organization, whether it be a family or an extended family or a business, whether it's virtual or in person. And that is this: don't ask if you don't care. There is a weird, stupid social convention that we have to say, "How are you?" and expect only one answer, really, which is fine. You can see the virtual eye rolling if anybody dares to give an answer other than fine. You can tell that you don't really mean it, because half the time you ask the question and you're 8 feet past somebody by the time they'd have a chance to respond to anything more than fine. The number one thing you can do to establish that you authentically care about people, that you care about their well-being, is that when you ask them a fundamental question about how they are, you actually want to know the answer. And if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask. If you're worried about how to fill those awkward silences, worry about your poor collegiality. If you're worried about, as a leader, what do I do when I'm stuck in the lift with somebody? Well, what you do is something authentic. You either set out your stall as someone who actually cares how you are as a colleague, as a direct report, as a peer, or you set out your stall as someone who actually doesn't care. And that's good for people to know. Even that's good for people's well-being. Don't ask if you don't care.